things just hit another level for the New Jersey Devils as Arseni Gritsyuk picks up a beauty for his first NHL goal. The Devils have vaulted themselves into first in the Eastern Conference, but it's more than just Gritsyuk's goal, more than the team getting a 4-1 win. The underlying metrics and what some other players are doing for the depth of this team is making the New Jersey Devils a wagon and beyond dangerous. We're going to get into all of that on this episode, but by the way, if you like New Jersey Devils news, check out Devils Digest, where Aiden is a host, where you'll get daily New Jersey Devils content linked in the pinned comment. And let's just take a look at this. Feast our eyes right here on the Eastern Conference standings, fellas. Number 1, they have that game in hand against Montreal, who's 6-2. The Devils have a higher points percentage, 6-1 with 12 points. And right now, Aiden, Mark, the Devils are dangerous to play against. Even in this game against the Wild, one of the Wild's best players, Matt Boldy, said it's like a playoff game versus the Devils. You have to advance pucks. You have to make the right play, win battles. You got to make the right play always. They make you pay when you don't. And Aiden, there have been so many good performers for the New Jersey Devils as of late, but to me, this has hit another level, especially with this dominant win against Minnesota.
Yeah, no, I mean, New Jersey's start to the year, obviously, 6-game winning streak. But I think what's really impressive about the 6-game winning streak is that 5 of the teams were playoff teams last year. So it's not like they're going in, beating on the bad teams, maybe getting a bad goaltending matchup. No, actually, their backup goaltender is playing really well. And Nico Dawes, a call-up waivers just a little while ago, just got his first, not first NHL win, but first season win last night for New Jersey. Look, offensively, they're top in the league in expected goals. Expected goals against, they're also top of the league. Second line looks awesome. It's been a really good start to New Jersey. Mark, kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
And I think the biggest thing is looking at the Devils. They're on a heater on that 6-game win streak, coming off huge wins. And this is without Jacob Markstrom on the roster. Cody Glass is out with an injury. There's a lot of key guys that are not playing for the Devils team right now, and they're still pulling out these huge wins. It's not even like squeaking by one goal. They're making statements against these teams. They did it versus the Leafs. They did it versus the Wild. They're going out to make huge statements. And Josh, I don't know if you feel any different, but once this team gets fully healthy, I think they have a second gear that they can really hit.
Which is kind of scary to think about, right? Like, this is a team that is banged up. They've had some guys miss some significant time. There have been some issues in the defensive end. There are still concerns with the team, but they're getting wins against, like you said, Aiden, amazing teams. Like, 12 points, 6 wins, 1 loss with a 6-game winning streak is kind of ridiculous. And there's a few guys we can point to. And like you mentioned, the lineup, it's been changing a bit. Again, Gritsyuk just came off a season-high time on ice. We're going to get a lot more into him a bit later. But one guy that has really stood out recently is Nico Hischier. Not only the leadership that he's shown, but the two-way play, constantly getting those top PK minutes, top power play minutes. He's at 6 points in 7 games, which is really impressive on its own, but it's his defense, I think, that elevates things to another level. You can see McDavid, Matthews, Kucherov, and Kaprizov versus Nico Hischier and the Devils. Only 2 assists combined for those 4 superstars, 6 shots, and a -6 rating, Mark. I mean, we talk about how the Devils are getting some goals. They're working a 4-1 win, which is great. Yes, it included an empty netter, but the defense has been really good as well. Like Aiden alluded to, expected goals against, they're still right up there at the top of the league. I mean, I think it's the two-way game that is, I don't want to say unprecedented, but is really one of those keys that has unlocked this offense.
And I think the biggest thing is looking at the Bergeron light, the new modern Bergeron coming into the NHL. He sure has always been that two-way demon that everyone wants on their team. But looking down the middle, I think this is what sets them aside a lot of teams. You have Jack Hughes, you have Hischier, you have the defense, the offense. Both of these guys complement each other so well on every end of the ice. So I do like looking at Hischier as you have your anchor on defense at the forward position. Listen, the defense on the Devils, there has been huge players stepping up as well. But Aiden, I don't know if you feel any different, but I feel like these 1 and 2 as the centers are almost the perfect pieces for a team in their top 6.
Yeah, well, I look at it this way. What other team in the NHL can take a 90-point player and then a center who's probably in the Selke conversation at least every single year might win it this year? I don't think there's another team, and I always talk about the Devils division, the Metropolitan. You can go down any team in the lineup. The Devils have an advantage as a center duo over any other team. And it gave Tom Fitzgerald a reason and the situation where he was able to go and get third line, fourth line centers who maybe didn't have to pay a bunch to, where other teams have to go out and they have to actually spend in their third line, spend at their fourth line. No, Glennetting's off of PTO. Mercer's able to step in for Cody Glass. Cody Glass, I mean, they just kind of signed him right at the start of free agency, but they had some, contract disputes, didn't know what they wanted to do. But when you have Jack Hughes, a 90-point player backed up by Nico Hischier, I mean, those are things other teams cannot do. And if you can do something that another team can't do, it makes it an advantage for you. An advantage to have a 90-point player, an advantage to have a Selke conversation guy backing him up. It looks like a really good situation for New Jersey going down the middle and then putting, an 80-point player and 40-goal scorer on in their wings. Definitely doesn't hurt, does it, Josh?
No, it doesn't at all. And that's such a good point, right? These guys it's constructed so well. And, there's a lot of talk about superstars, what they should get paid. There's one contract that comes to mind, and then another one who took a bit of a discount. But to be able to build the way they did, like you said, with that offense and defensive combination is amazing. And 90-point guys, I think Hughes is going to be a perennial near, or if not getting to 100 points basically every single year. Hischier, like you said, perennial Selke candidate. But there's another guy who's been stepping up too. And look, I mean, Dawson Mercer is one. I do want to shout that out as well. Consistently there near the top of the game score cards. He's at a point per game so far this year. So is Timo Meier. Yes, Brad is leading the team in points. And these are guys we're not even really going to put a focus on today, because the other guy that has stepped up is Arseni Gritsyuk, who is at 5 points in 7 games after scoring a beautiful first goal, falling down top cheddar against Philip Gustafsson in the Minnesota Wild. Gritsyuk's play recently has been incredible, as he just logged a season-high time on ice versus Minnesota. Again, going up the lineup a bit with Cody Glass not as available. 16 minutes basically time on ice, gets that power play goal, and he looks amazing. I think his skill jumps off the page so strongly. Gritsyuk is one of these guys that, you were excited to see him come over from the KHL. Where would he fit in the lineup? Well, could have been the bottom 6 a little bit. There have been some good production from some guys, but, at first in the bottom 6, by the way, like Gritsyuk and Connor Brown, 9 points in 14 games combined. Last year, Dowling Bastion and Lazar combined, 6 points in 61. So you had that, but Aiden, at this point, I'd be surprised if Gritsyuk made his way out of the top 6 anytime soon. Look, if there's a spot available for him at least, because the numbers don't lie, and this guy is putting on a show, at least recently, for the Devils.
Yeah, my thing with Arseni Gritsyuk is you look at the Devils situation over the summer. They didn't have a ton of cap. They weren't able to go get a top 6 winger. They're in the Robertson rumors, in the Ehlers rumors. But when you don't go and do that, I mean, you did have to have some type of backup plan. And I think a lot of people would have assumed it was Gritsyuk. I mean, he had huge expectations, scored, 20 goals in the KHL before. And you have a player on a low contract, low risk, high reward. When you have a situation like that, you maybe want to put him in a situation where he can go and do what he does best, his advantages. He's a skilled player, high IQ. Top 6 probably would make a little bit more sense. But so far this year, he's still been able to figure out and be a factor offensively. And for some reason, they're still putting him in to the defensive zone draws, starting in the defensive zone, lower minutes, not as high quality, skilled guys around him. Paul Cotter loves playing with him. Well, I think Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt would also love playing with an Arseni Gritsyuk. Putting Arseni Gritsyuk on the wing. Look, I'd love to see him in the top 6. Reminds me a lot of Andrei Kuzmenko, high IQ, good skilled player. His defense isn't great. It may never be great. We know that younger players, they're not going to be, this two-way player most of the time. So when you have a player like that, just go let him score. Just go let him play in the top 6. Let him do what he does well. Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt. Look, offense is in the other zone. It's tough to score as the other team. So I think Arseni Gritsyuk definitely should be in a top 6 position. Mark, who would you move out? Would you break up that second line that's been so good? Obviously, Dawson Mercer moving down, but it's only because of Cody Glass injury. Would you move Arseni Gritsyuk? Where on that top 6 would you put him?
I mean, I think the obvious one is putting him in with Platt. Platt's getting older. I know Devils fans might not be the biggest fans of a guy like Platt, but I think the biggest thing with Gritsyuk and what Sheldon Keefe is looking at, he has a player that now we know can play in the top 6, the middle 6, the bottom 6. He's a utility guy that can play absolutely anywhere and produce. He played in the top 6. He scores a goal. He goes into the bottom 6 and he's putting up assists. So I like that Sheldon Keefe has this. Listen, every team is going to deal with injuries throughout the year. It sucks. No one wants to see it. But I think this is the perfect example that you have a guy that you can trust on any line within this Devils team, and he's going to go out and do something offensively for you. Josh, I don't know if you feel any different or if you think someone else should come out of the top 6, but I feel like Gritsyuk is perfect.
It's tough, right? Like, it's so tough because so many guys have been so good. And again, if we just take one final look here at all the scoring, I mean, Bratt and Hughes have been amazing. I mean, well, you know, there's certain guys that aren't on this list. Even Connor Brown, 3 goals in 7 games. So many guys can make the case to be up there, right? And I think Sheldon Keefe has the luxury this year. I mean, barring injuries again, like when there's an injury, it kind of forces your hand. But you do have the luxury, like you said, to try these guys in different spots in the lineup. And right now, whatever they're doing is clicking. So I would actually say that if people are healthy and it's like, you know, you don't need to move them around, why not just keep with what's working, you know? Like, you're 6-1, 6-game win streak, keep going. But at the end of the day, I think you guys are right. I think whether it's a guy like Palat or splitting up that second line, very real possibility if Gritsyuk keeps up the way he's going. But listen, we want to hear from you guys. What would you do with Gritsyuk now jumping up, scoring these goals? Let us know your thoughts down below, because that'll do it for this episode of Hat Trick HQ. And if you enjoyed, hey, don't forget to go check out Devil's Digest for other daily Devils news. Subscribe over there, subscribe over here. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-hosts, Mark and Aiden. We'll catch you on the next one.